Hi, everybody. This is Miss Daniel again. For reading this week, you guys are learning about text structures. All right. And it says, let's use 5 soccer passages to explore text structures. And with this, you also have a companion handout. So as we are going along with this PowerPoint that's in Google Slide, you guys will be doing the text structure handout that is also in Google Slide. All right. Give it a little bit to, all right, come up. And so the first one that's on the companion handout is description. And it asks, what makes this piece have a description structure? And notice that this same passage is also on your Google Slide PowerPoint presentation, okay? And so let's begin. All right, it says, why don't we first discuss what we mean when we talk about text structures? Text structures are used in nonfiction writing, and nonfiction, remember, is real. Nonfiction is real, while fiction is not real or make believe. Text structure refers to how the author organizes the information he or she wishes to present. Why is text structure so important? Understanding how information is organized helps us, as the readers, comprehend what we read. All right. Authors who use text structures to organize their nonfiction writing help readers learn and retain, that means keep in our brain, what they have read. All right, so it says, let's use 5 soccer passages to explore the 5 most common text structures. The first one is description or topical. All right, and when you're trying to figure out whether or not a piece of writing is description, you ask yourself, is this piece of writing describing something? All right, so you have a topic in the middle, and you have a detail. You have several details that explain your topic. Now let's see an example. All right, so it says sometimes in multi means more than one. Sometimes in multi-paragraph, that means paragraphs, passages with more than one paragraph. Sometimes in multi-paragraph descriptive passages, each paragraph describes a different aspect or part of the topic. All right, so here's an example. It's also on your companion slide when you guys are going to be typing in. It says example of a description text structure. Soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world. Millions of people play soccer. It is a fairly simple game to learn. Players try to move the ball down the field and kick it into their goal. However, a goalie stands in front of the goal and tries to block any shot the other team makes. If a team gets the ball in the goal, they score a point. Players need to know the rules. You are not allowed to touch the ball with your hands unless you are the goalie, or you are throwing the ball onto the field from the sideline. You are also not allowed to tackle other players. The referee watches to make sure each player follows the rules. To play soccer, you need just a few items. You need to have a ball, a large area of grass, and goals. Many players wear special Many players wear special shoes, not schools, called cleats. These shoes have points on the bottom to help players run without slipping. Many players also wear shin guards. These protect the player's legs from getting kicked. Okay. All right, so it says, what makes that piece have a description structure? So in the middle, you know that your topic obviously was soccer from the passage. They're only talking about soccer. And then paragraph 1, if we go to paragraph 1, it says soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world. Millions of people play soccer. All right. And that's our introduction. And here's the first paragraph. First, second, third. All right. They see it. Okay. They see this is paragraph 1. Technically, it's paragraph 2, but okay. It is fairly a simple game to learn. Players try to move the ball down the field and kick it into their goal. However, a goalie stands. So they're telling you in this paragraph how the game is played. All right, when we go to the next paragraph, it says players need to know the rules. You are not allowed to touch the balls with your hands unless you are the goalie. So that one tells you the rules, paragraph 2. Technically, it's paragraph 3, though. All right, and then the final paragraph, it says to play soccer, you need just a few items. So that is telling you about the things that you need, the clothing and equipment that you would need to play soccer. So this is why this this passage is considered a description. All right, and so description text structure has a topic that lists descriptive details, more than one descriptive detail. So let's look at another text structure. Another text structure that you might be familiar with is sequence. When you're trying to determine if sequence is the text structure of the passage, you ask yourself, is this piece of writing telling me the order of events? Order. All right, you know how I remember in first and second grade, you learn about order words: first, next, finally. All right, or you might see these, like, for example, in social studies, you might see a list of dates, like a timeline. Okay, let us see. All right, example of a sequence text structure. And remember, all of these passages are about soccer. Soccer is a game that has been played for numerous years. In fact, many people believe that it began in England over 800 years ago. Wow. About 200 years ago, in the early 1800s, boys in England played a sport like soccer, but they called it football. However, each school made up their own rules. In 1863, a group of players met and wrote official rules for soccer. Soccer started spreading to other countries. In 1904, an international group called FIFA formed to make sure that every team around the world followed the same soccer rules. Today, soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world. All right, so let's see why this is an example of a sequence text structure. All right, so what makes that piece have a sequence structure? All right, so first it talks about it started in England over 800 years ago. All right. Then in the early 1800s, it was called football. So I see that next in the next sentence. About 200 years ago, in the early 1800s, boys in England played a sport like soccer. All right, in 1863, soccer rules were written. And then in 1904, a world soccer group formed called FIFA. All right, and that is why that's the sequence text structure. And again, let's go back. And see, you see these dates? That is why the sequence. Okay. All right, compare and contrast is the third type of text structure. All right, and you ask yourself, is this piece of writing telling me how things are alike and different? Compare means to tell whether or not something is alike, or how two things are alike, and contrast means how two things are different. All right, so, and usually we use a Venn diagram. In this Venn diagram, in the first circle, you have topic A, telling how topic A is different. And in the second circle of the Venn diagram, you have topic B, and you're talking about how all the things that make topic B different from topic A. And in the middle, right here, where you see alike, that is where you tell or type in what makes topic A and topic B alike, what they have in common, what they share. And it says example of a compare and contrast text structure. Soccer and football are alike in a few ways, but have many differences. One similarity that means how they are alike is that there are 11 players on the field at one time in both soccer and football. They are both popular sports in the United States, and they both require the use of a ball and a field. So they're talking about how soccer and football are alike. All right, so they talk about the similarities. So this, if you were doing a Venn diagram, you would put that information that they share in the middle. All right, the differences between soccer and football are numerous. That numerous means more than one. Soccer players use a ball shaped like a spear, whereas football players use a ball that has two ends. See the football? In soccer, players are trying to send the ball in the goal. However, in football, players are trying to get the ball in the end zone or through the goalpost. The rules are also very different. In soccer, players are rarely allowed to touch the ball with their hands, while football players frequently touch the ball. Football players are allowed to tackle, but this is forbidden in soccer. These are just a few ways that soccer and football are different. Nonetheless, most people agree that both soccer and football are fun sports. All right? So it says, what makes that piece have a compare and contrast structure? All right. So on the outside, You have soccer. It says, first of all, they have numbers. They've numbered using numbers. All right. Number one says they have soccer uses a sphere-shaped ball. Sphere means like circular, 3D shape. Number two is they have a goal. Number three, rarely touch ball with hands. Number four, tackling is forbidden. That means you can't do that. Football. Number one, the first way that football is different from soccer is that it has a ball with two ends. Number two, the players have to carry the ball into the end zone. Number three, the players frequently touch the ball with their hands. And number four, tackling is allowed. And in the middle is how both have in common. Both are sports. Both the ball can be kicked, or both the soccer and football can be kicked. And 11 players are on the field in both of them. All right, so that is why that is a compare and contrast take structure. The fourth one is called cause and effect. Ask yourself, is this piece of writing explaining why something happened? Or is it explaining what affects what happened? Okay. Example of a cause and effect take structure. Head injuries account for between 4% and 22% of all soccer injuries. These can result in concussions. A concussion may occur when someone's head strikes an object. The most common cause of a concussion during soccer is when one player's head strikes another player's head. The second most common cause of a soccer-related concussion is when the ball is kicked from close range and hits a player's head. Heading the ball does not cause head injuries as long as it is done properly. Seems pretty dangerous. All right, example of a cause and effect take structure. All right, what makes that piece have a cause and effect take structure? First of all, it has Macahos, two players hitting heads. All right, obviously, if two players hit their heads, bam, you get a head injury. All right, another cause is a ball hitting someone's head when kicked at a close range. Okay, look at them. Oh, Jesus. All right, and so both of those are causes that end in head injuries. All right, the fate would be a head injury. All right, the fifth text structure is problem and solution. You ask yourself, is this piece of writing telling me our problem can be solved? You know, type problem and solved or underlined. Problem, possible solutions. Ding, ding, ding. All right. Example of a problem and solution take structure. Professional soccer players head the ball thousands of times during their careers. Doctors are unsure whether players that repeatedly head the ball are more susceptible to later head injuries. Therefore, many parents and coaches are choosing to take steps to protect young players. What are some possible protections? All right, here's one. Make sure children learn how to properly head the ball. Use the appropriate size ball for the age of the players. Smaller balls are less likely to cause injuries. And make a no heading rule for the younger players. What makes that piece have a problem and solution structure? All right, first of all, you have a problem. Obviously, the problem is head injuries during soccer or while playing soccer. Possible solutions. And here are some solutions. You see these 1, 2, 3 solutions. All right, they're also listed here. Proper instruction, correct size of balls, no heading rule for younger players. All right, so let's practice. It says read the 5 following passages about bubblegum. Determine the text structure of each passage. All right, so you have description or topical because it has a topic in that they're dealing with. All right, sequence, compare and contrast, cause and effect, problem and solution. All right, so here you have a passage about bubblegum and you read it and you understand why you think about why it's problem and solution. All right, here you have sequence. And notice, let me go back to this. You see how all of your, basically every single thing from the PowerPoint, all the answers are here. So all you do is type what is in the PowerPoint, okay? So notice if I go down here, they have this same one. It says, all right, how about it is easy to get gum stuck in your hair. Well, here it is. It is easy to get gum stuck in your hair. Well, I know that this says problem and solution. So, you know what I would do? I would type, it asks the text structure used for this passage is, obviously, problem and solution. All right. So notice how all of the answers for the companion slides that you have to type in are in the PowerPoint. Okay. So as you're watching my video, you can have this screen pulled up. Okay. This activity pulled up, and you can be typing in as the video goes along. You can pause and type. Okay. All right, again, this week in reading, we are focusing on text structures. We're focusing on text structures. And today, our goal is to use this PowerPoint to complete our companion handout, which is this. All right. So good luck and happy Monday.